the Sunrise Club, but our two clubs actually just merged as of July 1st. So, which was a really interesting process. As Dan mentioned, I work for Simplicity Credit Union, and we've had a couple of mergers in my time there. And it's really interesting, the likeness between merging two financial institutions and merging two Rotary clubs. Bringing systems together, finances together, marketing, PR, culture, all those things together is quite similar, actually. So it's been cool to see the experience in both areas really pay off. But yeah, so I am in marketing at Simplicity Credit Union. I went to school for graphic design. So Tara and I speak each other's language. We might geek out once in a while, but that's cool. Just ignore us. So that's how I got dipped my toes into the marketing world. After I graduated college, moved back to the Marshfield area and opened a printing and marketing company. Did that for about a dozen years. And then once we started having family and stuff, it was time for me to stop working the way I was and free up a little bit more time for family. So I just had a great opportunity to sell out my portion of the business and stumble into the credit union, which I never thought I'd work in financial services at all, but it's been a really great opportunity for me and my family, and I'm really grateful. In 2018, we started a sister company that's a marketing agency for our credit union and for other credit unions and small businesses. So I still get to scratch the entrepreneurial itch a little bit, which is really nice for me and the way my mind thinks. We've been doing that for about 6 years now. So really fortunate to have a very progressive and open employer that's flexible to opportunities like this. They allow me to do things like this district governor thing where I'm rolling around and seeing clubs all over our district. And yeah, my wife, I have to say, if I get the chance to be in front of a group, I got to give her some gratitude and send some good vibes through the universe to her, because without an amazing wife, I wouldn't be able to do this thing either. With our two young kids at home, it's just amazing how much she puts up with scheduling and all that stuff. So just super fortunate to have her in my life and be such a great partner. Speaking of that, you guys are like my 15th or 16th club that I've seen, and after a few of them, people are like, "Can I see a picture of your family?" So I just threw one in the. Oh, I must have sent you my old slide deck. I'll send you a picture. So embarrassing. Sorry. I was going to show you a really cute picture of my family. I promise. I'll show anyone that wants to see it after. It might be on my wife's profile. Yeah, you can check. But another thing that I like to do when I'm in front of groups of Rotarians is share a vision statement, because what Rotary does is so big, right? Like, we do so many things, from youth exchange to local projects, brat stands, all kinds of stuff. And when people ask, well, what's Rotary? What do y'all do? It's really tough to answer that question. Our vision statement might not necessarily get into the specifics of what we do and talk about all those things that I just mentioned, but I do think that does a really nice job of encapsulating what we're trying to do as Rotarians and people and humans around the world, right? Creating lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. And my favorite line of it is that last one, the "and in ourselves," because as Randy said, Rotarians are busy people make great Rotarians, which is also an excellent recruiting line. When you ask someone to come into Rotary and they say, "I'm too busy, I can't make meetings." Hey, every single person in this room is a busy person, right? Busy people make excellent Rotarians. And I think because of that, and we're all focused on the projects that we're doing now, the next project that we're trying to wrap up, or the fundraiser we're starting, whatever it is, it's really easy to be caught up in the day-to-day of Rotary, just like it maybe is to get caught up in the day-to-day of work and all of those things. And if we don't take a minute to recognize the value of what Rotary brings to ourselves as people, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice, because I think that that's one of the most impactful things that Rotary does for humans and for our communities and for ourselves, right? Like change within ourselves. I joined Rotary in 2006, and that person in 2006 is very different from who I am today. And sure, life and kids and stuff like that has brought a lot of that change, but Rotary has been a huge reason for that change in my personal life too. So my challenge to you all is to pause every now and then, smell the roses a bit, smell the Rotary roses, no pun intended if you guys do a rose sale like many of them do. But seriously, and just, recognize every now and then one thing that Rotary's done for you as a person, because I think that that's one of the most valuable things that Rotary does for us. I also like to mention our Rotary Action Plan, which is a couple years into a 5-year plan now, 2 or 3 years into it. And if you're not familiar with it, and you've got that spare 5 minutes of Rotary time, maybe even build a club assembly or something around it. Spend some time with our action plan because it's built in a really powerful way that's simple, easy to understand, and full of resources and ideas, ways to maybe move your club or the thing that you're doing in Rotary to the next step. Ways to think about how we open ourselves up to new people, potential new members, new partners, ways to expand our reach and make sure that we're telling our story and creating awareness for all the things that Rotarians do in our community. Because if there's one thing we know, it's that Rotarians can be rather humble and we don't toot our horn too often, but that's a really important role for us to play, is to let people know all the great things that we're doing. And of course, that helps contribute to things like membership, but also giving, and so many other things that we try to do in Rotary. So easiest way to get to it is just Google Rotary Action Plan. You'll see a nice page on the RI website that gives a lot of great information there. And my favorite part about it is that every Rotarian, no matter what level of Rotary they're at, whether they're a new member or in district service like myself and others in the room, there's something for you in the action plan that can help you create change or take the next step in your Rotary journey. Speaking of levels of Rotary, this is a very high level, very basic, not scientific at all, org chart of what Rotary International looks like, right? And it's intentionally an upside down pyramid. Rotarians are at the top. Rotarians are where the rubber meets the road. We do stuff. We do this stuff in our communities. We sell rocks to get money that turns that money into the things that we do and the change that we make in our communities, right? Everything else that exists here exists to support that. You're all a member of a club. You're connected to these people that have dollars, time, resources that can help do the things that you do. And every other level of Rotary exists to support all that at the top. So our district exists to strengthen and support clubs. We say that often, whether it's to kick off a board meeting or a district leadership meeting, to recenter on why the district exists. Because I think sometimes a district governor or a district chair of a committee or something can come in and maybe feel like an auditor or somebody that's prescribing a bunch of stuff. And that's one of my goals as our district governor, is to come in and be a listener first and find out how I can connect people in clubs to resources and other people within Rotary land to make our clubs better and make people better and create more change in our communities. Our district goes from north central Wisconsin, Medford, down to Janesville, Beloit, over to Prairie du Chien, and then up to the Chippewa Valley. So kind of that southwestern corner of the state. There's 55 clubs in the district, and our district leadership roster is made up of almost 100 people that have been in your shoes, have tried to do things, not always done things the right way, learned some good lessons, probably learned some hard lessons. And at the end of the day, like I said, are here to provide strength and support to you, our Rotarians and our clubs that get the stuff done. District support is there for you, and our district leaders are also Rotarians. We're also members of our own clubs. So from time to time, it can be a little confusing for somebody in a district leadership role to keep the lines separated between district service and then doing stuff in Rotary. But that is what the district leadership is in place for, is to provide strength and support to our members. And we said, like I said, we say that often, and truly our goal is anytime that you interact with somebody at the district, you should leave feeling strengthened and supported. I was connected to the thing that I was looking for. I got an answer that said, I don't know the thing that you're looking for, but I know somebody that might. And that's a nice thing that we have, is there's additional levels of Rotary going back to that org chart at the zone and regional and even Rotary International level, where not every district leader knows everything about everything. My weak spot, I'll totally admit it, is foundation. You know, I'm a marketer. I'm not a numbers guy. I know I work for a financial institution, but it's different, right? And so if I can't give you an answer on something foundation related or something, I definitely will connect you to the people that do. But at the end of the day, we want you leaving feeling stronger and supported. Okay, now this is the crowd participation area of my spiel. I promise it'll be super user friendly. Zoomers, it's going to be a little difficult for you to participate, but we'll do our best. What you'll do is utilize the chat to interact with us a little bit here, and hopefully it provides some value to you and to the rest of the people in the room after we are done meeting here today. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a living Venn diagram in the room. Okay, we're going to have 4 sections to this Venn diagram. We're going to split the room right down the middle here. Everybody take your time. You got chairs in the way and stuff. Just get up, do your best, take your time. We got lots of time here. We're going to split the room right down the middle here and then down that center aisle too. So we'll create kind of 2 axes there, making 4 sections to the room. And we're going to do this Jeopardy style. I'm going to ask some questions, but we'll look at the answers first. And so we're going to split the room up as you see it on screen these 4 ways. So giving is up in this corner, service is up over there by Aaron, networking in that corner, and then fellowship and fun back here. Okay. So I'm going to ask a question and you're going to physically get up and move yourself to the section of the room that's your answer to the question. These are the answers. These are 4 answers. There's probably more answers. You don't have to fight me on that. It's okay. Just do your best to answer based on these 4. The first one, I'll just give it away. The first question is why you joined Rotary. Okay. So if you joined for networking, you knew that you needed to make business connections, whatever it is, and you said, I don't care about anything else that Rotary does. I joined for the networking. That's it. You're going to scram yourself way back to the back corner of the room. But if you joined for networking and a little bit of friendship, fun, fellowship, then you put yourself somewhere in the middle of the back of the room, right? Pretty simple. We know how a Venn diagram works. Okay. And then once we're there, we'll chat a little bit and we'll do 2 more questions and we'll be done. I promise this will be super easy. Are you ready? Okay, stand up and position yourself. Why you joined Rotary. Put yourself wherever in the room. No wrong answer. Giving's up here. Service is up there. And consumers, if you can hear me, just put your best response in the chat. Do whatever you can. Okay. Are you right in the center? Yeah. Okay, so let's take a quick little visual snapshot around the room here. All right, we got lots of folks over in the service and networking area. We've got our fun havers back here. Not surprised to see Sean back there. Yeah, I get it. Okay. And then, when I first thought about doing this with clubs, I thought, there's never going to be that one member that stands right in the center of the room. And stuff. Here we are. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks, Al. So Al and Max, you're the unicorn perfect Rotarians. Congratulations. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Look around the room and see, look at your fellow club members and know why they joined. They're answering the question for you right now. This is what they hope to get out of Rotary. Or maybe this is the promise that was given to them. Hey, join Rotary and this is the thing that you're going to get. Okay, next question.
Hey, Ben, we made a observation here. Oh, this is the old corner.
Yeah, and that's the service corner. Yeah, interesting. How about that?
Yeah,
Was it not fun?
I was going to say.
So does that mean this is the young one? Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say experienced corner, but I'll just leave it season. Yeah. Okay, so now why do you stay? Why do you stay in Rotary? And it can be the same answer. That's okay. But if it's changed or it's moved, then go ahead and move yourself. Why do you stay in Rotary?
People like in different.
This is like. Yeah, you can blend yourself between answers. So we've got some more people coming to the center of the room here. This is natural.
Randy's still over there. He's still
It's like Twister, right?
So this is cool. So as we learn more about Rotary, we learn more about our club and different ways that we can engage. We've got some people that are maybe a little more multifaceted now. That's cool, but we still got lots of fun having in the back and some people that moved from service to fun. So cool. Go ahead and take a visual snapshot of this. All right,
Okay.
last question.
Okay.
Last question, what the club needs. Now, this is what you think the club needs, so it might not be the ultimate truth. Maybe it's just something that you think is missing from your Rotary experience. Maybe it's something that really is missing from the club. So again, no wrong answers. And your answer, by putting yourself in the fun area, doesn't mean that your club doesn't have fun, but maybe it's something you can do better or get stronger at. So what do you think the club needs?
What
Go
do
ahead.
you think the club is doing all these things?
You know.
Yeah.
Make the room.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Stay here. Speaking of what's going
Okay, cool. So
That's a great story. We just voted you out of the club.
all right, so take a look at this now. Huge shift up to the service area of the room, which I think is pretty interesting. That's a cool observation. So maybe, and then look at who's standing up in that section. So the next time that somebody said, hey, we need to be doing more service, here's all these people that can help you. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Back to your seat.
I want to say something about why I'm standing back here.
Go ahead.
I think one of the bigger challenges of Rotary, and it always is the fact that all of the cool, great stuff, the fellowship, the service, the giving, and we really need to get back out in the world with that, and we need to network harder and bring more people into Rotary. So that's why I'm looking at that.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Great. Love it. Okay, back to your seats. That's it. Thank you. See, it was pretty
That was
easy.
fun.
Pretty easy.
And nobody tripped over cords
Nobody
so
tripped
far.
over-
Yeah.
I'm
happy about that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I do this little activity for a couple reasons. One, to, I think, ask some really important questions of our club members, right? Like, I think it's really helpful to understand why people joined. I think it's super helpful to understand why people stay. And depending on what those things are, maybe we need to really keep doing those or keep strengthening service or whatever it is, the reason that people are staying. And then also what the club needs, right? And if a certain group of members or one member, whatever, says, hey, we need to be doing more service, whatever, they may or may not be right. Like, your club might be doing plenty of service. You might be doing all you need to do. But it is important to listen to them and hear that that's a gap that clearly they have, or they think that there's an opportunity to do more, and then connect them to the thing that they're looking for, service or, whatever it might be. And like I said, kind of kidding, but also pretty serious now that I think about it. Everybody that's asking for those things, that put themselves up in that service corner of the room, like, you've got a group of people that can help actually do the thing that you think your club needs. So the second point of doing all of this is because I think it helps, in a fun way, by getting us moving around the room and stuff, show that candor is totally okay and actually should be really welcomed in your club. It's perfectly fine for a member to say, hey, when I was invited to Rotary, they told me there was going to be a bunch of fun, and shoot, man, I'm not having fun. Or, they told me this was going to create a bunch of business connections for my business. And, that networking was super important to me, but I don't know, I haven't gotten any business from this club. If that's something that somebody joined for, they were expecting that and they didn't get it. Not saying you need to turn into BNI or, a business focused club or anything like that, but maybe there's a way to fulfill that need or that thing that they came into Rotary looking for, and welcome that feedback. If you haven't done a membership survey in a while or something, maybe do it. What you see on the screen here, I'm going to shift a little bit into the future of Rotary. We've got a few minutes left. And I think that this is an interesting thing to mention because it's pretty new. These cause-based clubs, or clubs that have a pretty clear focus of what they're trying to do and actually are making that part of their outward message. A couple great examples: the Rotary Club of Minnesota Veterans and the Rotary Club to End Human Trafficking. Both clubs that immediately, by seeing their logo and their name, you know what they do. You know what they care about. You maybe know what their membership looks like. Now, I don't know that we need a cause-based club for every single thing that we could do in Rotary. That might get confusing if there was that many. But I do think that there's a place for cause-based clubs like this. The Rotary Club of Minnesota Veterans, they're in the Minneapolis area, started by a guy who is not a veteran. You don't have to be a veteran to be a part of the club. But like I said, just by reading their logo, you know what they care about and what they do. And I think the biggest advantage there is, if I work in some kind of field that's, attached to ending human trafficking, and I see that there's a club that has a similar cause, that might be an immediate connection for me to say, hey, I need to be a part of that thing. So the Changemakers Club in our own district, 6250, is an e-club, not necessarily cause-based, but these are a bunch of people that needed the most flexibility they could get in Rotary. They meet one time virtually per month, and then they try to do some social and service on the other weeks of the month. But it's a great spot for members that maybe have to leave your club because of a career or life change or something. They still want to be in Rotary, but they don't know if the community that they're going to land in has it or whatever. So a good spot for them to go and hang out for a bit before they come back to your club, or maybe find a new club. Or if you just work somewhere where you're traveling the world all the time, but you want to be in a Rotary club in the Wisconsin area, Changemakers might be it. So kind of a cool model. And Rotaract, I think, is a really cool opportunity. Just because there's this age group around university age folks in college and such, that there's kind of a gap. We have a pretty good Interact presence in our district, that high school age version of Rotary. And then we have a couple of Rotaract clubs that are attached to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Platteville, and a new one that actually just formed around Stout. But all that to say that there's an opportunity for that age group that we might be missing out on. So
What's Kaleidoscope?
yeah, they're one that is based around providing support to people on the autism spectrum. So yeah, providing education and also bringing in members and people that, are a part of our community that maybe just don't get included all the time, right? So kind of a cool model there. So I share all of this, one, to talk about a new and exciting thing that's happening in Rotary, but also to provide a challenge. I'm not going to say that starting a club is easy or anything like that. There's a lot of support out there for it. But take a look around your community. And if you see a group of like-minded people that are focusing on something, trying to create the same kind of change in their community, and if we just sprinkle a little Rotary magic on top of it, they could do more. Maybe that's an opportunity to create a satellite club attached to this club, or whatever, maybe even a brand new cause-based club in our district. I think it'd be really
How
cool.
many members do you need for a satellite club?
8. Yeah, and 20 for a brand new club that's got a separate charter. DEI with our president, Jennifer Jones, first female president, super cool moment in Rotary story. I'm happy to be able to serve alongside her. She's an amazing human. DEI is really important to her. And at the end of the day, when I say DEI, it's really easy to get stuck on big emotional things that have happened recently. And I don't mean to glaze over those at all, black versus white, gay versus straight, any of that. I certainly do not mean to glaze over that. But by saying it, I actually hope to drive home the point that it's way more than that. And at the end of the day, belonging is the outcome that we're trying to get to. We really want to try and get to a point where everybody in the world can see themselves in Rotary, whether that's in a club like a traditional Rotary Club member, or a participant in Youth Exchange or RILA, or member of an Interact club. And to know that them going to, and this is going to sound like me picking on a big club, going to the Rotary Club of downtown La Crosse just might not be the place that everyone feels welcome, or the place that everybody fits into, because they can't afford it. They can't meet at noon. They can't, whatever reason they can't join. And instead of that being their one experience and saying, well, I guess I can't be a Rotarian, instead saying like, hey, maybe this club's not right for you, but here's all these other things that you can do to interact with the greatest service organization in the world. So keep your eyes open to those awareness opportunities. It's really important.
Hey, Matt, just to clarify, did you say DEI as in Edward?
As a what?
You said Janet Jones, when you said DEI.
DEI. Yeah.
What's
Diversity. Oh, sorry. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Sorry.
I didn't see it. I'm making eye contact.
Yeah, no bad. I'm rushing a little bit. Sorry, I should probably slow down. I'm going to skip past this a bit too, because I talked about a little bit. I think this is another opportunity for us as Rotarians, is to look at what we're doing as clubs and find out if there's ways for us to engage in something new that might help attach people to our clubs or bring people into Rotary. Like if your club hasn't done Youth Exchange in a while, whether that's hosted or sent someone outbound. That's a really life-changing and awesome experience for people.
Sorry to interrupt. but
That's okay.
That's actually the story of my Rotary journey.
Okay.
I won a RILA back in India, then I joined Rotary. Then I went to the Rotary Exchange when I joined Rotary, and now I'm in Rotary.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Were you in Interact at all?
No, I.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
How do we attach a satellite club to our club?
So
Forms and stuff?
yeah, there's a really simple form to fill out with a chartering roster with those 8 members, and you have to get a little bit of clarity, like how often they meet, what their structure will be like, but relatively simple. I guess the hardest part is identifying those people and doing the work to get that stuff. Yeah. We're really short on time. I'm so sorry to fly. But I want to mention the Rotary Citation, which is a recognition given by Rotary International to clubs that are already doing really good things. It's just a matter of selecting goals and then telling people that you achieve the goals. And some of the goals are really simple and basic, like a membership goal or a foundation giving goal, but others are maybe things that your club hasn't paid attention to or done things in the past, like the number of service projects that you're doing, or the hours that you've given, or how many articles you've submitted to local media that have been published to help tell our story and stuff. So Dan, you're going to be getting more information on this. You've already gotten some, but just as you see what you're doing in your club, pay attention to ways that you might contribute to achieving the citation, because I think the recognition is really important. Last thing I just want to mention, there's save the date magnets on your tables. This is our multi-district conference, which happens with the other 2 districts in Wisconsin. It's in La Crosse this year in our home district. I've been telling clubs as I go around and visit that I'll buy you a beer if you come and see me in La Crosse, but I probably need to stop saying that because it's going to get really expensive.
Get a keg.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just have a kegger somewhere. But seriously, I would love to see so many 6250 Rotarians in La Crosse. We're gonna have a great time. For me, district conference was one of the first opportunities that I had to see Rotary outside of my club. I knew what my club did and what we are and what thought I knew what Rotary was, but then once you get to meet people from other clubs and stuff, it's just a really cool opportunity. So good opportunity for a new member. I see the red. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for this.